So I made a video recently about how to make this bracket in Atom, which is, in my opinion, a pretty advanced loft. One thing I forgot to mention is we lofted this face to face. Just in my anecdotal personal experience, I find that it works even more consistently to loft from face to sketch. So anyway, with that clarity, I then showed how to use Alibre Atom Professional in getting a constant thickness using the surfacing tools. But we don't have surfacing tools in Atom, and I sure don't want Atom users to feel left out. So I decided to make another video on how to get a constant thickness. You can see if we inspect with the precise section view on our ZY plane, we get this area of a local minimum thickness. And this is not a big deal, I don't think. But let's say that you're a perfectionist, right? So let's close this and talk about ways that we can go about making this more constantly thick. In this case, have a true constant thickness. If I run back through my tree, we can see the history of how this part was made. We start off with an extrusion, and then we extrude this so that it's a non-planar curvy face. We make a second extrusion, and we extrude that also so that it is a non-planar face, although a little bit less non-planar than the other one. And then we run our loft from face to face. This takes a second to think here. Okay, so let's modify this, right? I'm going to roll back before the loft, and that will help speed up our rebuild times. But let's go to the original sketch that we go. And we're going to make this more thick than we want. I'm going to bring it up to, say, 0.5. And we'll get out. We can see we have a much thicker loft. We're going to say Edit. That cut doesn't need to be edited, but rather this extrusion does. Let's edit that sketch and bring this one to 0.5. We'll deactivate that. Now let's recalculate our loft. And there we have a thicker loft, right? But we still don't have a constant thickness. And if the design intent is to be 0.25, then we're still getting a local minimum, or local thinness right here. And we're thicker than what we want, if we wanted at 0.25. But that's okay because it's all part of the plan. Next, let's go to, not File, rather, but Model, and we're going to choose Shell, and we're going to remove every face around this face. And, well, let me put it this way, since we're busy thinking about how to remove this. We have these interfaces that we are going to assume are the profile that we want. We could just as easily assume that these outer faces are the profile that we want as well. Either way, we decide which set of faces represent the one side that we want, and then we shell the other side to the thickness that we desire. And there you can start to see we've selected a sufficient amount of faces to already start to shell it down to a constant thickness. Let's just continue to select the faces that we know we wish to remove. There we are. So this is a constant thickness. Of course, we want 0.25. And we were able to shell in Atom at a constant thickness without too much fuss at all. Let's go to Inspect, choose a precise section view. Yep, that's the exact constant thickness that we were looking for, just like the results in the last video with the Pro license. So we have a few options here if you don't have or can't afford the professional or expert license of Alibre. In case that face selecting was a little bit confusing, I'm just going to select all of the faces that I've selected already, but so that they stay highlighted and you can kind of visualize what it looks like if they're all selected, if you kind of miss the concept of shelling. So those are the faces that I selected to produce that shell. And of course, since we assumed our interfaces were the profile that we wanted, and the variation in thickness caused an error on these outer faces, then those are the ones that we've made thick and then shelled out to the right thickness. So shelling is for more than just making things hollow, right? This is for making things a consistent thickness as well. And it's an easy and nice way to work with Alibre, in my opinion. So hopefully this is helpful. If it was, please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.